Hello once again. Welcome to Oral Communication in Context subject. This is Module 1, Lesson 2, Elements of Communication. Once again, I am Miss Marinazal Filipino Gazo, your teacher for this subject. Hi students, are you having fun? For Module 1, Lesson 2, we will have the elements of communication. Please be ready with your notes. Before we start our day, I want you to read this quote. There's only one rule for being a good talker. Learn to listen. Christopher Morley. Communication is composed of elements that help us better understand its process. Study the illustration that follows. Look at the mail sender. He is trying to send a message by encoding it through a communication channel called cellphone. Then, the receiver decodes the message as she decodes the message or interpret the message of the sender. She will then send a feedback by encoding it through a communication channel called again cellphone. Then, the sender now will become the receiver, and the receiver becomes the sender, and vice versa. As you can see, this is cyclical manner. Remember this illustration. Let us now discuss briefly each of the elements shown in the illustration. You have to remember that every element has its own importance that greatly affects effective communication. Number 1. The sender is also known as the source of the message or information. The sender is responsible for putting meaning into his or her message. A sender is also known as the speaker or the encoder. Again, remember that the sender is the speaker or the encoder. Number 2. Message. The message is the information, ideas, or thoughts conveyed by the speaker in words or in actions. The message, by the way, is an important element that is being shared by the sender and the receiver. Remember, the message is the information conveyed by the speaker. Number 3. Encoding. This is referring to the process of converting the message into words, actions, or other forms that the speaker understands. The sender is also considered as the encoder in the illustration shown because it is her who puts meaning into her message. Again, encoding is the process of converting the message into words. Number 4. Channel. The channel is the medium or the means, such as personal or non-personal, verbal or non-verbal, wherein the encoded message is conveyed. In the example, the channel or the medium of communication or how the message was conveyed is through cell phone. Other sample channels are face-to-face talking, sending emails, or sending short messages through texting. Number 5, decoding. Decoding is the process of interpreting the encoded message of the speaker by the receiver. The receiver analyzes the message received before giving his or her response. Again, when we say decoding, it is interpreting the encoded message of the speaker, giving meaning to the message. Number 6, receiver. The receiver acts as the recipient of the message, or someone who decodes the message. When we say receiver from the word, it is receiving the message. Somehow, the receiver will then become the sender, then the sender becomes the receiver. Number 7, feedback. Feedbacks are the reactions, responses, or information provided by the receiver. It could come in many forms. It could be through words, gestures, or actions. When we say feedback, most of the time we call it reply. Number 8, context. The context is the environment where communication takes place. It is a communication situation. There has to be a context for communication to happen. In a picnic, a wedding, in the church or dinner, at a basketball game, or a bus ride are just few of the many contexts where communication can take place. When we say context again, it is the environment where communication takes place. And most of the time, context is called communication situation. Number 9, barrier. Barriers are also called noise in communication. These are factors that affect the flow of communication. Students talking to one another while the class discussion is going may distract the attention of other students, or someone who has a toothache may not be able to concentrate at the meeting. Remember, barriers are also called noise, and at the same time, this will affect the flow of communication. Barriers sometimes are physical, mental, and physiological. When we say physical noise, those are the sounds coming from around you. When we say mental or psychological, those imaginations that cannot make you concentrate. And when we say physiological, those are the noise or the distractors that comes from your body. For example, toothache, stomach ache, or any pain that you are feeling. Since we are done with our second lesson, our first activity will be written in your worksheet. For Module 1, Lesson 2, Activity Number 1, give 2-paragraph reflection and realization about the relationship of each elements of communication. That will be 20 points. Again, give at least 2-paragraph reflection and realization about the relationship of each elements of communication. Once again, kindly write it on your worksheet. For our activity number 2, write on the comment section. Module 1, Lesson 2, Activity 2. You may subscribe to Senior High School et al. YouTube channel and leave the word present in the comment section. Again, leave the word present in the comment section. 5 points.